So that should be us now live.
Hello, internet. Yeah, we're live. It's just there we go. Yep, we have a screen.
Yep.
Cool.
As long as we have sound on it as well.
In fairness, that didn't affect us last week, did it?
So that should
Alright,
be
need to
us
do
now
that.
live. Yep. So, which was the first one?
Give me 2 seconds to fix this. There we go. Okay, first things first. Race 1, lap 1. Carl Jacquelet and Liam Stimpson through the Parabolica.
Come on. Don't crash.
Oh, Michael, that's a good race start.
No comment.
You were looking to go off the track there, apparently.
I was looking to get out of the way. But right, who was it? It was Carl Jacquelet.
Jacquelet on Stimpson, yeah, final corner, Parabolica.
Parabolic, that's what I'm saying.
Away. He's lost a wing mirror. Oh, something's happened.
Yep, right. This is on board with Carl Jacquelet. Oh, chase cam.
Yep. They're braking on time.
Yep.
Simpson's going wide. He's gone widey wide.
First.
Inclined.
First fault is that it's the unsafe region.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going on the unsafe rejoin there. That's what.
All the way off.
Is there
In
meatball?
agreement, James?
Yes.
No meatball that I can see, so it's just going to cause him to lose positions, I believe. Should be the 3 LP penalty. Oh, anything more than 2 and he's in penalties.
Okay. I think it's fair to say he's lost more than 2.
I think so.
In the first lap, there must be a train of cars behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bound to lose. When he finishes. Here's 1.
Right,
2.
okay, so
There we go.
guilty driver is then Liam Stimpson.
Yep.
And he's going to be hit with the 3 LP minus 30%. Can you tell me what position he finished in the race?
What position did he finish? What's that? Liam Stimpson?
Yes, yeah, for his penalty points.
32nd, but he didn't actually finish. Or
Oh, did he not?
he was 3 laps down, so he wouldn't have scored.
Looks like he's probably had a crash with Sam.
Yeah. So there might be another meatball on there, or
Oh, not from Jekyll at least, anyway.
no, but on Stimpson or Sam Smith.
Stimpson gets one at... Oh, sorry, Stimpson, yeah, sorry. He gets one on lap 4, so don't worry.
Yeah, so
Obviously, DNFs then.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
that'll be
fine.
zero penalty points on that. Is that okay? Next one is race 1, lap 4. Aaron Rose on David Chapman into the second chicane.
So Aaron Rose, yeah.
Yep.
Wait a minute, around here.
Yeah, it's into this braking zone. I was right behind them. You watch it again from Chapman's onboard. This cockpit view.
From cockpit.
Just see what his steering wheel's doing.
He's just squeezed them too much, but he's
Nice.
it's like it's under
Mm.
braking because he's a bit unstable, isn't it? And he turns to the left just before.
It is what happens on the brakes on this track. If you brake hard enough, the back does get a bit squirmy, doesn't it? So he could have just miscalculated his gap when braking and
I think
had a bit
that
of a door bang.
I think that is what's happened. Is he's misjudged it. He's moved over a fraction too much.
Yeah.
But
Spin really because he's got
Yeah.
2 wheels on
It's
the grass.
lots of positions, but he still finishes race. So, opinion, James?
Well, I think a lot of the responsibility here, unfortunately, is on David. Just from the sheer fact he has to pull an overtake off, doesn't he? So he's kind of responsible for making this all safe.
Yeah.
And I can't see what Aaron could have done more. There doesn't look like there's any net code in causing it, as far as I could
break
see.
at third is similar point.
The
I
braking
mean,
just after the bridge. Yeah, that's a normal braking point from both drivers.
if you could wind it back at frames, at small, at slow mo. I'm just looking at the back rear tires of Aaron Rose's car, just to watch the distance between his back wheels and the line, and then if you just play it forward at slow motion, I suppose it could be argued he pulls further away from that white line.
No, if anything,
He's
they
going
get close.
so, yeah.
Under braking, he does, yeah.
They're both drifted under braking, but it's just Chapman's not.
I think, unfortunately, not that it's a huge instant, but perhaps David could have given him a bit more room.
Yeah.
I think
It would
that.
definitely have. It was definitely avoidable though.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
unfortunately.
So that's going to have to go on Chapman then.
Yep.
Rose does finish, but he's lost multiple positions. So again, that'll be a 3 LP and penalty points. Chapman finished second. Wait, which race is race one? He finished third, didn't he?
Chapman.
Yes.
Yeah, third.
How could I forget? He finished like half a tenth ahead of me. So third place scores 85 points normally. Well, that's going to hurt him. The old calculator up. He's got 26 penalty points for that one. There we go. Next one is race one, lap 4. Stimpson gets a meatball at 10 minutes 23 on the timestamp.
What time stamp?
10:23, I think it was. Yeah, 10:23. So 10:13 realistically.
Oh, really? That's
Oh, okay.
it's a selfie.
Let's just keep watching to make sure there's no rejoin action there, but I think we're looking at a pretty clear-cut selfie, to be honest.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
I thought I had done that on multiple occasions. It is with every lap. Yeah.
Go for him.
Yeah. Yep. When he resets.
Yep.
So.
Clear-cut selfie then.
Alright, I'll sort of shoot.
NFA, yeah.
Ah, yeah, no reaction, same thing.
Race 1, lap 5, Sam Smith on Seb Hawkins through Prima, whichever corner that is.
Oh, I remember this one, I think.
On what lap? 4.
5.
5. I'm gonna watch the whole lap and fast forward, so I don't know the actual. Ah, there.
Oh no. He was 3 wide. It was a good start. Nearly 4.
Oh, and the banner selfie.
That was a meatball.
Was that a meatball?
No, it's a protest. It's a protest from Smith on Hawkins.
So he's not out of the race. He's elected to leave the race.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, it could be a meatball. I've closed. I've condensed the sheet to get rid of all the back. So Sam Smith does get a meatball. Yeah, right.
Blimey.
Netcode, is that? As a
But
big
it is also, I think.
You just watch it back. Sorry, because I was looking at the sheet. Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's see what happens
I
there.
think we're gonna get.
chunky bit of netcode. I think I probably hit anyway.
I'll say.
To be
I was about to
honest,
say it's
I
netcode.
think Smith was coming in where Hawkins was anyway.
Yeah,
The fact that it was netcode just means we can dump it on that without,
I don't think Seb's really did anything wrong. He's there.
No, he didn't move. He didn't vanish.
He couldn't exactly go over the sausage curve, that's for sure. Anyway.
Yeah.
I have thought the only other thing we need to do is double check people who should have had pit starts and quali bans.
Okay, well, we can.
But that's fine. Only but I just thought about it. Alright.
So to clarify here, has Sam protested this?
Sam has protested this, yes.
And what's his description? Just out of interest,
His description was made no allowance for me on the outside. Jumps, break, and slams into me, giving me a meatball. I gave enough room to him, and he overcooked it. Is Sam's version.
I disagree with that.
I think I disagree as well a little bit. I mean, if you pause it at the point at where the impact is, Michael, if you
for a
can.
start,
Yeah.
they're going 3 wide into turn 1 anyway, so it's going to be a bit hairy. There's plenty of room given by Hawkins here on the outside. He's not pinched Smith up on the apex. Now it's Hawkins on the inside. He's on the curb, or at least wheels on the white line.
Yeah,
so he's
and
got
that's
maybe
a contact. Yeah.
He unwinds a lock after he sees Smith coming off, really. Like there.
Because he's almost on full lock.
He's on more lock than I've ever used in my
I was
life.
about to say,
Anyway.
I've never gone that far.
Wrap the wheel around like a full 360.
Yeah.
What? Anyone else wants a different camera view?
Stop, if you can. And can you move above over an aerial shot of some kind?
Oh, okay, like an overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And
I
slow-mo.
suppose you could just slow-mo back and forth to that point if you can.
Sam's taking it like he's not there.
He does only unwind a lock when he knows he's gone.
If you watch the travel of Sam's car, the direction of travel, it looks like, as I think Nick has said, he's driven to the apex. I think a little bit like the other cars not actually
or it is
there.
Yeah. It was a netcode, but
point,
he was going to.
He has committed to the apex by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
When they're almost door to door.
Like there,
like
it is, how much is his aim for it? He's sort
What's
of
inside Sam's car like at that point in his cockpit? What's his?
Yeah, he's turned in for it.
Get that in nice and slow.
Okay, so I think Nick and I are of the mind, if I'm right, that more space could have been given.
Yeah. I agree.
Hawkins had the right to the room on the inside there. He used the outside fine. So Should we just call it an RI at that point because he's done himself out of the race, really, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
Because
so.
it's a
Look
meet.
here.
It's
Car
but
inside.
does if
Or
you
no further action.
file a yes, because nothing happened to Liam. Was it? Sorry, who was it on the inside?
Seb Hawkins.
Seb. And so, had Seb's race been upset by that, correct me if I'm wrong, then we would have had to have looked at applying points to Sam for that.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
no
okay,
further
fine,
action,
yeah.
not an RI.
Okay, yeah, all right, fine, yeah, cool.
Oh, NFA, yeah, no further
And
action on
NFA,
that.
yeah. What's next?
Next one up is last one of race 1 is Ben asking us to look at the finish and confirm that he definitely finished second.
I have looked at this and I've read the forum to see if what iRacing does to determine an overtake, and the response I got back from iRacing, Ben has to physically have passed him to be classed
Okay.
as the leader, but as he doesn't actually physically pass, the game still thinks Adam's in front.
Oh, because Adam starts the
But
last
he
lap ahead,
does.
you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So no, because
No, it is. I'll bring up the
Shepard started the
email.
lap ahead.
Yeah.
And then because Ben finished identically, officially he's not led this lap. Therefore, they've probably given it to Shepard. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'll bring up the response I got from iRacing about when the timing screen to 000, and it was basically again. It is the game will put the leader who's in front before the overtake's made. Apparently, it is. But I've copied a response I got
So,
back.
in effect, they moved the finishing line further back. Didn't they?
Yeah.
Because are we? And this angle's not obviously perfect because Ben looks ahead all the time in this. I mean, I don't know if it's possible.
Pretty hard to get, but
It's
the line is the line just past the gantry, isn't it?
Yeah, because the start line and the finish line are different.
Because the overtake was never completed.
Well, he never led the lap officially because Shepard. You know how iRacing works. Even if you take the lead during the lap, you've not led that lap when you finish the lap. So Shepard started the lap with the lead, and he officially, as he didn't get overtaken by the end of the lap fully, was alongside, identical. He's kept the position. That's basically what iRacing said.
Okay.
Yeah, I copied a response back, but as you can see, it's a dead heap by kind of where their wheels are on the line, and they're both at the same point.
It's yeah, to the millisecond.
It's crazy.
Okay.
I just don't know why Ben didn't try harder.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said. I was like, if you just drove 0.001 seconds quicker in your race, you would have won that.
Like, or if you'd moved half a foot over closer to the inside, you would have had a shorter distance.
Yeah.
But,
so, all right. No further action. iRacing's made its decision based
the
on
only
the
interesting thing I noticed on the CSV file is it actually doesn't put a time gap between them. It's blank.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
Blank.
because it because it can't obviously process that small of. But that's it for this race. Yeah.
Race 2 then.
Yeah, that's it. Race 1 on to race 2.
We could be on for an early night.
Don't say that. Race 1 was the quietest one for me. 2's pretty quiet. 3 and 4 are pretty good. So 4's hard. loaded up yet? Oh yes, we are.
Yes, we are. I'm just putting the stream back on. But we're on, so
Okay.
we are back live again
So we're
at race 2.
first looking over to race 2, lap 3, which is the big crash, including Rose, Hawkins, and Nick.
Yes.
Which rows?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Oh, here, by any chance?
It looks like it could well be the one.
Getting very saucy at the front.
Where's Nick in all this?
Just behind.
Oh, you're behind him.
You're
Okay.
behind him, yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, because you're the car when something on you.
There I go.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's a shame. I was hoping.
James still there. James.
James?
Come on, James.
Have we
Yeah.
started? I know it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Just because there's only me and Michael can comment on this. Get 3 opinions.
I was trying to work out what's actually happened.
So
They're
they're obviously going free way down the straight already. Rose is now looking to the outside as Hawkins is coming across. He's entitled to do it. And to be honest, from this point of view, you see some more, but it looks like Rose might just run into the back of Hawkins there.
That's what I was just about to say. At that point, it looks like it's. No, that one. I was gonna go far chase and go from.
Get it like dead overhead if possible.
That's what I was working towards.
Would be ironic. The road test has been filed by Rose on Hawkins.
I don't know what. I mean, I'm leaning towards Rose, but.
Yeah, well, first things first, I think obviously Nick's been just unlucky to be in the position he was in.
Nick's.
It's just whether it's the Rose or the Hawkins move that causes the crash.
Well, there seems to be quite a like sudden de-acceleration from Seb. And that. But when that's just a toe, and that's just a toe effect on Monza.
It doesn't look much better from Rose's onboard, in my opinion.
I thought, who's put this in?
Rose has protested Hawkins. And obviously Nick has meatballed. As have the other two, actually, all 3 of them meatball.
I'm leaning towards Rose currently.
James?
Is Rose compromised by in the far chase?
Car behind him was in Nick.
Yeah, is he just a bit more cautious about giving space? That's all I'm thinking. Not that Hawkins can do. Is it Hawkins? Yeah, can do much about that.
Hawkins
You put it in half speed just to make it a bit easier. And he's probably going to get a car left call now, isn't he, on Nick for sure? And yeah.
The only thing I will say is that Seb has moved. It is, but it is he's entitled to because he's still.
Yeah, because at the time,
I mean, he's left
he didn't have a car alongside to his left. Yeah. And he did leave a car's width to the left. Just Rose probably couldn't
Can we have a look at
Nick...
Rose's onboard again? Sorry, his cockpit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's
What's he doing with the accelerator? Is he literally just driving into him, or is he?
Yeah, speed wise, yeah. Speedo. Going up and up and up.
Mm.
Still going up.
Yeah.
And contact.
Up to the contact.
Yeah. He might have just misjudged the speed differential. Just.
I think it's the gap. It is. I don't think he's judged the gap well.
I had one of these the other week, and I have to say, the right-hand side of your car is difficult to judge sometimes.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It is. I'm useless at it.
You know, he's not. He thinks he's all right, doesn't he? He's driving straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks
he's
there's
committed
room.
almost.
He thinks he's clear.
And if you go to the dead overhead view, you actually see he's run almost his front right wheel straight into his rear left. They're almost.
Yeah, where are we there? It's difficult.
There we go. There's a good 6 inches or so of overlap there, isn't there?
Yeah, can you go in for it?
Yeah.
And just go back ever so slowly. I mean, at that point, even if he thought he was going to get past him, he wasn't, was he? He's going to have to correct to go left to get past him from that bit onwards.
Well, they're both trending left right now.
Yeah, but all the traffic wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Everyone's
It was, at least.
Yeah. He's going to get a car left call on Nick around about now. So maybe he's being hesitant. He's given Nick as much room as he can.
If you look at the grid lines, there's no doubt. If you look at Seb, he is moving. Like, there's one grid spot. Yeah. There's another grid spot.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely moved left.
But towards the end of it, when that contact happens, obviously he goes really left. But towards the end of it, the last 2 grid slots before, the gap's around about the same. It's like he's found his position on the left and just stayed there. So he's closing, same.
Stop there, stop. Sorry, go back a tiny bit. About there. Can you go to the side-on angle? Has he? Is at this point, is he now boxed in because of Nick?
That spotter will say yes. That's going to be enough for a car left call, isn't it?
How much room has he got to come? I mean, has he still got more room to the left than he has to the right?
We've definitely got room there for that.
Would Nick have eased up? I mean, it's difficult to know. All you know is that has Aaron stayed dead straight throughout that procedure?
Just watch his back and keep a reference on the grid spots. Easiest way to. No, he's been going left the whole time, really, hasn't he? Just by looking at the reverse. So it's going left. Still going left.
Yeah, right. They've both almost tracked left at the same kind of rate.
In hindsight, obviously, Aaron should have made a much more with a move with conviction to follow.
Yeah.
Is it Panzel? Yeah, is that who it is on the left? Yeah, And I don't know what he was going to do with this at some point. Was he planning on getting Pie in?
Or is it's 3 wide, so I don't think it was going to be an overtake unless he managed to get alongside Seb on the way in. But
I guess that's what he was hoping for, was to get the outside for the first part of the chicane and then try and take the inside for the second. So sort of follow Panzel.
All I can say is Nick's got a mega toe here.
It's not bad.
Nowhere.
A shame it all went to waste.
I was very excited while it was happening.
Although it is, everybody missed him, which is quite impressive. If this was at Watkins Glen, the whole grid would have aimed for him.
Yeah. Somehow though, they've only involved the 3 of them in the crash, and no one else.
Because Pans was gone for the move, and then then Nick's kind of decided he'd left, and then the other 2.
So the difficulty here is, in my opinion, Hawkins is perfectly entitled to make that leftward movement. He's not being unpredictable.
Yes.
It's slow and steady move to the left.
He's not blocked as such. He's just closed it.
Yeah.
Which is what,
Yeah,
which is,
and
which
he
is,
wasn't alongside throughout any of that movement for it to feel unfair, was it?
no.
No, of course, because Rose ran into the back of Hawkins, so he was never alongside fully. No.
No, then I tend to agree with Dan's original kind of thought is that it's kind of on Rose, this, unfortunately.
So then Rose gets, it'll be a 6
It'll
LP
be a
and a
12.
DS. Oh, the 12.
No,
It's 12 in the air because he's
two
multiple
cars.
Yeah. I've-
And what does it mean since he's protested it?
Nothing, unfortunately.
He's
That's
just lost it.
it just means that he's asked us to look at it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we would have had the meatballs as well. I'm assuming from it. Anyway.
Yeah, we would have looked at it no matter what.
I mean, all he could have done is just eased off a bit and stuck
Yeah.
behind Hawkins, knowing that Nick was coming up on his inside would have been the sensible option.
And it's like what we always say, isn't it? It's the responsibility of the overtaking car to get through safely. Unfortunately, it's not really.
It's at this point, realistically, it is he needed to pick which car was he going to attempt to follow through down into turn 1.
Panzer was definitely the better
Oh
option.
yeah, because Panzel's gone for the move initially. Panzel was
And he's just moving quicker. He's just, you can see he's moving quicker.
So now he should have been over on Panzel's bumper. Because
Yeah.
you can see the tone Nick's got. Nick's tried to do what Rose should have done. And it
Nick's seen the gold mine.
That's it. He went win. I could see a win.
Yeah. I do feel bad for him because from my point of view, I didn't know he had such a good run on Hawkins. I thought I was just going 2 by 2 with him. And then I found out pretty quick.
But then I suppose it's the other thing. It has Rose also come across on Nick. It's almost the same move what Rose has done on.
That is a fair point. Had Hawkins not been there, inevitably Rose would have found himself in the same position, moving left.
Yeah.
In front of Nick.
Because wrong Nick. This one. And that. Nick's already made the move. It is I know he's not alongside, but it was essentially the contact in the back of Seb, which has taken out Nick.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be Rose's fault then, yeah?
Rose.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Then we're looking at Shane Piggott on Kip and Lewis Rose on the final corner of lap 4.
So, is Kip there? Because I haven't heard him.
He's got his headphones muted, so he's not listening to us. Oh, this one I remember watching this on stream.
Right, so what's going to be the best one to go with first?
Middleman, so that'd be Lewis. Watch him first. Because they go pretty wide through Parabolica. Spoiler alert.
That's going so well.
I was about to say, they've done that, and they've done the hard bit.
Yeah. It looks like the front two think Kip's out of it.
He's still got his nose in there, which is what's caused the big crash, and he's allowed to have his nose in there. Overlaps the thing.
Yeah.
I think they've just misjudged it.
What I'm leaning towards is I'm looking at now. Has Shane moved over?
I think at this point, that's without a doubt, isn't it? He's
Yeah.
come over from the white line to over half the
The
track.
middle of the road.
I have a feeling he can't see Kip. Maybe he thinks it's just the two of them.
But even still, he's.
Sport would have called 3 wide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Spot would have, to be fair, that's true.
I'm leaning.
Watch that angle again in slower speed.
Pardon?
Watch that angle again in slower speed.
Yeah, because at this point Shane's spot would have called clear, isn't it? Rose,
Likely, yes.
yeah, Rose knows he's now 2 wide, if not three
They're
wide.
3 wide again already
Yeah.
at this point. And look, Shane's already out there, basically, what, half a car from the white line.
Yeah.
Hip's
And
still
at
half
this
a car's width
point,
from the white line on the inside.
he's now closing it
Getting
off.
tighter.
It is a tightening corner. It's an 8 parabolica, but
And it's the slowest line to
I
be
think
over to the
if
right.
you
I have to say, Kip's moved quite considerably over as well at that last minute,
watch that thing.
unfortunately. Not that he meant he was going to hit.
No,
You see, he stays tight, He's
and
when
he
he
just drifts
opens up.
out. Yeah,
So,
And then if by that point the other two had stopped closing as well, maybe.
this is Shane's on board. Can we get it from Kip?
I was
After.
going to do Shane, and I'm going to do Kips.
I mean, isn't it where the incident happened first, unfortunately? Whoever made the contact first, was it Kip
Yeah.
or was it Shane?
That's it.
Pretty much is. It's like we were saying the other day when I said, "Oh, I've reported this because I had to avoid a crash, which was going to be a really nasty one." Like, well, you should have let it crash if you wanted it to go in my favour, basically. It's that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where if they wanted it to be Kip's fault, Kip needs to have had the first incident.
So if we did, so where does the contact come first then?
So he's about half a car's width Kip there from the inside white line. Now he's basically on it.
Things moving over.
Jane is coming over. You can see Rose is holding station with that white crack in, that dark crack in the tarmac. And I think Shane and Kip have both sort of come in and made a bit of a Rose sandwich here.
Yeah,
It's definitely not on Rose.
I was going to say, it's definitely not on Rose, but
He's got nowhere to
but
go.
then has Rose hasn't moved, but it is at the same point. He had nowhere to go. Kip has moved marginally, but
Stop there a minute.
Shane's
what
already
is that?
leaning on Rose, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the contact that happens between Shane and Rose before Kip gets involved? Is it a knock of the doors or is it a miss? Because there's a bit of a swerve from Shane as if he knows he's got too close.
So, right. Yeah, that's it. You can see the cars have reacted. And now Kip.
If anything, that contact, the first one, turns them left a bit. It straightens the cars up.
yeah.
Which is weird. They got lucky they didn't get sucked into each other like it was happening.
Can we go on to... can you go forward a little bit and then go to... that's it, keep going a little bit more. Okay, stop about there, and then can we jump into inside Rose's car to see what reaction he's having to make to that knock that he's had on slow-mo?
Nothing.
Oh wait, that's the big contact, yeah.
So there
That's
isn't.
really... They're really lucky they had a door-to-door which didn't result into a car like going inside the other.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say Shane is the one that's come over. He didn't need to be squeezing as much. But
That is true. At the same time, you can quite easily say that Kip has caused the final blow to cause the spin.
yeah.
Yeah. What was the outcome of the old meatball though?
Kip was 23rd, Lewis Rose 22nd.
What's Kip's on board doing? I
And
mean, we know what he's doing, but
Kip and Shane
just-
both meatballs.
I mean,
Yeah, Kip and Shane only for the meatballs. Rose didn't get one.
So what's everyone's fault currently?
Yes.
Yes. Something's down there. And they
Door to door, and then they
squeeze.
they converge really, don't they? Shane and Rose come in as Kip comes in as well. They all meet in the middle.
Yeah, they're all trying to take the optimal racing line as such.
Think to this because it might be a bit of self-justice because both Kip and Piggott DNF, but Rose was able to finish the race. So
I'm thinking that.
is an RI just suitable enough in that
That's what I'm
respect?
thinking. It is at this point they all know they're three wide, isn't it?
Where does Rose finish? How many positions he loses though?
22nd each as we
22nd.
finished. He's currently position
Currently,
8. Not that that should be an involvement, but
No, but just from the crash, he's down to 19th already, so he loses 8. No, 11 races in the crash.
yeah, I think
So, I mean, we could say obviously self-justice for the meatballs, but still, one of them's caused him to lose positions, no?
I don't know.
Or do we just call it a race incident and say...
The protest came from Piggott
Piggott.
against Rose and Kip.
Right.
I don't feel like Rose or Kip are massively at fault, or it is are at fault in that. Purely on like at this point here, it's Shane coming across. But
James, where are you at, James?
I am still watching to see, whether or did Shane and Rose really have an incident, or did Kip create the incident?
Yeah.
The damage that is.
so
Yeah.
what is it?
Well,
And
they've obviously
if the damage is the thing that has put Aaron back 8 places, of which we're trying to find a responsibility for, aside from the RI, then I'm trying to look to see if both, if Aaron and Shane both move right as much as into Kip as Kip kind of moves into them, then it's a racing incident. But if those two are kind of holding station door to door and Kip's driven into the back, it kind of unfortunately puts it on him a bit, even though there's very little he can do about it, which again makes it a racing incident, doesn't it?
See where you
If he hasn't been able to react to it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a bit difficult.
So without a doubt, Piggott's coming across on Rose here.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, they've had a door bang. We can't say for sure what that's done to them.
I mean, it's moved them to the right. It did move them both to the right. I saw both cars slide to the right there.
Yes.
That would make it a racing incident, wouldn't it?
I think it's the easiest way to play it. They just went 3 into 1. Didn't quite work. Yeah. Rose is the unfortunate one there in the middle, but he's managed to get away with it at least out of the 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a racing incident. It is no one's done anything like a silly move or a bad move as such. It's just close. It's just close racing. The same as going down the straightaway. Where you're 3 wide, it takes a bit of all 3 drivers are thinking in the same way.
You can't say Kip's made a big swerve out from the curve.
Shane has started the movement of the cars, really. They're all kind of in their own space, aren't they? Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's Shane's fault, I have to say.
I'll say that's what I don't feel like Kip's done an awful lot of moving.
No, not enough.
He moves closer and further from the white line, but he never gets outside of that sort of half cars width, does he? He's always within that or on it.
Yeah, like
So you could say at most Kip's moving half a car's width to and from the line.
I mean, when I first saw it, I did think it's unnecessary for Shane. If they'd all travelled in the trajectory that they had, as Michael said, once they cleared the most difficult bit of the corner, they would have been all right. But Shane has moved across unnecessarily. It's whether or not we now decide, well, or if it's now whether or not I feel it's enough for him to warrant some penalty points for that, you know.
I feel the reason behind the penalty points is a loss to Rose. Rose was the innocent victim there, wasn't he?
So would you then just place him with the 3 LP for losing multiple positions?
Yes.
And then we just
Because
call
of
the
Rose's
DNF
loss.
of Kip an RI.
Personally, I would just call the whole thing an RI just because of Kip's. I know it's only a slight movement that is pretty natural, but just because there is movement there.
It's just that Rose has lost out, hasn't he? Big time, through no fault of his own. So it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
If it was the 2 cars on the outside that crashed and Kip drove through, no problem, then we'll call an RI and the other 2 no. It's what it is, but...
Yeah, so we got the option of the 3 LP, wouldn't it?
Or a 6 LP for causing Kip to DNF.
So going...
If we're going to put it on Piggott.
I say going on the rules, it's got to be 6 LP, hasn't it? Because if Kip hasn't caused it, then Kip's DNF'd.
He's a victim also.
Yeah.
So we're back to the beginning. We're back to the beginning, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's a racing incident, but Shane has started the ball rolling.
Shane's done the worst out of the 3, but it's nothing terrible what he's done. You know, he's just come across a bit. Unfortunately, he's come across when there's 2 cars on his inside.
But if the spotter said he's got 3 wide, or even if he didn't, it would be, you know, he'd still be responsible for knowing or being more aware.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a penalty for Shane currently. It's a hard one, but it is resulted in Lewis and Kip's races being affected because of it.
What is it, 6 LP?
It would have to be because of Kip's meatball.
Okay.
Wouldn't it, I think? Unless someone disagrees.
By the letter of the rules, he's caused the incident by any stretch, he's caused the DNF, therefore he's earned the points.
Okay. Can't watch it anymore. It's hurting.
We're just going round and round in circles currently, looking at the same few clips.
Okay.
So 6 LP?
Yep.
So you'll have
So that's fine. That one is. And that one. Next one to look at is Stimpson on Jordan Searett. Turn 1 after the finish of the race. So lap 8 officially.
okay.
About that, mate. I just couldn't stop it in time and backing up, so I've let you go at the end.
I'm assuming it is Liam's Stimson.
Yeah, it's the only Simpson racing tonight.
That's
about that. Turn 1 at the end of the race.
No need to wait me through in the last
Oh.
corner.
Oh.
Just go for it.
Oh.
Well,
Just couldn't stop it in time with you backing up, so I've let you go at the end.
checking the
The
speed.
race has ended.
Race is
Yeah,
finished.
this
is
is
the
race
update.
now. Race now over.
Anyway.
Still accelerating. He's hit 200 k's. Still accelerating. Braking zone's just after the 150. Still accelerating. Oh, he's
You know
way
what?
too late.
What he's tried to do is go flat out through the chicane, hasn't he? And at this point, he's now seen brake lights, I think. And this was he now realised he's gonna hit, and he had a panic.
So what can we actually give out for an after race incident?
It's a deliberate / joke crash after the race is a 2LP. That's pretty clear cut, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think he's done it on purpose, but he's done it.
No.
It's silly, so.
I don't.
No need to wait me through in the last corner, so just go for it.
Yeah. It's a
I think the whole
pretty.
point in these sort of crashes not is if it comes up on the stream, it's going to look a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
I'm sure in the rules it says somewhere that drivers are recommended to drive back to the pits after the race.
Just go for it,
Is there somewhere?
Yeah.
Isn't that?
Okay, that's it for race 2.
Yeah. The race 2 is it? Whee!
On to race 3, where we're going to start getting busier and busier. Race 4 will be the busiest.
one.
Nick remembers them all.
I'm always involved, hanging about. No, she overtakes me, I think, around the outside and just hammers someone ahead. Just misses the braking route. That's what I do. I don't actually race in these. I just hang about behind groups.
It's just
and
like you're like a
reaction to that.
roaming steward,
Yeah.
actually. Like.
You're right. So our first one is
Fiona Siddons, lap
Yeah,
one.
Fiona Siddons lap one.
oh, is this when she gets 20 odd license points in one lap? Was that said?
Instant points.
I can't remember which. Yeah, I can't remember which race that was.
Yeah.
It was qualifying. Oh, there we go.
So which corner?
Second chicane.
Second chicane, I'm back.
There I am. Oh no, it's not the one I was thinking. Oh, no, maybe it is.
Dear.
Isberg, I come out the pit lane and go, oh look, loads of positions.
Oh,
Yeah, it
blimey,
looks
someone's
worth
keen
my-
behind, aren't they? Is it because everyone keeps hitting them?
I think he just he started reversing it after he driven into it.
Looked
Okay.
worse from my onboard. The speed difference isn't too crazy in real life, is it?
So
Stop there.
Yeah.
Fiona's at fault.
Yep.
So now we've got to work out carnage.
Good luck.
a Simtech. We've got a. Is that a Pigget? Oh, Shane again. He's using the wars this week.
What was that not doing what I wanted to do?
And we've got a year one TV car. So that's 3 cars plus Glenn. Boy Glenn. Is he going to get something?
I was going to go on the run in again from a far chase.
Can we just go back to the start of the braking zone and just confirm Fiona's too late?
I'm not sure she is, you know. No, I think maybe she lets
Not
off the
really
brake.
too late. It just
No.
doesn't slow it enough. No.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's-
the bunching what's got what, because they're all too wide in front, and then when she goes, isn't it? I think she's trying to.
So, what's the meatball scenario, Dan?
3. We've got. I'm afraid for this. Shane Pigott. No, he's a different one. Ryan Main. That's it.
Okay. When I saw it, there was about 4 cars involved, including hers.
Yeah. So Shane Pigott and
There's
Nick
one.
Clemens were the other 2 that were involved.
Two,
Sorry.
three, 4,
four.
and Glenn's one.
Glenn does get caught up. Yeah, he's definitely involved. Because he's already got damage, and then he has a bit of a secondary contact trying to drive around the pack.
But then you can't see a thing because they planted trees in the way.
Oh dear.
And that's just a bit. That's a bit crap at the end.
So
In fairness, that's because Ryan Main there is meatballed, so he physically can't move. Main is unfortunate to be the only person to get a DNF out of this incident.
So yeah, he gets his meatball because he's pounded.
So, by the letter of the rules, we just do the single worst incident, which is 1 DNF. So 6 LP, I guess.
Yeah.
She's not causing
Okay.
multiple DNFs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Fiona.
I remembered that completely wrong. It wasn't actually. So
She has obviously caused 7 cars to have damage and lose positions,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
just by the
It
worst
is.
penalty.
we did the worst penalty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather
Okay.
than piling them all on.
Next one then is lap 1, exit of turn 1/2. Dave Chapman, Andy McEwen.
It actually did look worse from my onboard.
So exit at turn 1.
Yeah, 1/2. It is an echo, I'm pretty sure, but it's a meatball. We just got to review it.
Wrong button.
dear.
Looks good though with leaving space, I have to say.
I'll say he left him heaps of space and he's just lost it on the
Just
rear.
cooked it. It's very easy to do.
Yeah. Although
It's it's just the damage models.
Was that a
Make
full
crazy.
netcode contact, or was there actual contact?
that's what I
No,
was
there
just about to go above.
that looked like real contact to me.
It's close enough that there definitely would have been real contact, even if it
Yeah.
just happened like a second too early, you know? It's
But-
definitely going to hit him.
That big turn there is the one that does Chapman, and I think that the worst of it was the netcode at fault, really, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, there would have been a door-to-door and a bit of a bang,
Yeah, definitely.
but the jump and the spin is causes this physics model and the netcode.
So I just want to double check he. But then
Ah.
what time's the? That's what I was waiting for. What time's the meatball on?
Timestamp on the meatball is 1:48, so look for 1:38 contact
So the actual meatball comes from
from
Shepherd.
who's not at fault. He's got
Oh no,
nowhere
definitely
to go
not. No, here it is. I just thought that contact didn't look like it was the kind of contact. I think unfortunately, again going on the rules, that's on Andy.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
It's massively unfortunately, but it
I
is.
don't think do you stick the 6 LP? I wouldn't stick a 6 LP on him for that though, because it was a secondary contact that caused the DNF.
True.
Yeah, that's what.
And I mean, even if that was the case, I'd give the benefit of the doubt and give the lesser penalty, say 2 or 3 LP, whatever it would be, just because there was a netcode influence, even if they were going to hit anyway.
The problem with going like that, it kind of goes against what the rules are for each penalty.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of fixed in the situation of.
We are, but then we do also have the netcode
Discretion.
allowance, don't we? Yeah. I mean,
I
sometimes
see
we can
what you're
pull
coming
out
from.
massive crashes
I
just
know,
because
I do
netcode's
agree.
caused it all.
Yeah, I see whereabouts you're coming from, and I do agree with it. But it all depends on the interpretation of the rules again. Because
That rear wheel to rear wheel
Yeah.
swing,
Yeah, that shouldn't.
which is just it was
should be a tap.
unfortunate. Yeah,
Shepherd,
Chapman just maybe hop a foot or two over to the left and carry on driving.
in fairness to Shepherd, he did everything in his power to avoid that.
Oh yeah,
But yeah.
nothing he could.
So what we got the option of go for a 3LP and 30%.
We got 3 options here, or 2 really, because he's lost multiple positions. So it'll be the 3 LP and 30%, or just rule it netcode.
I don't think anyone's going to be too upset if we say that's just the game being crap.
On that note, I know it's a little bit outside of it, but I was in voice chat with Chapman and Andy after the race, and they just blamed the netcode themselves. So it was a meatball that we're looking at this for. It's not a report.
Yeah, I say I'm inclined to go with netcode. That's pretty blatant contact with netcode. Being in the jump of the car afterwards. It's not like he's knocked him sideways. He's actually like spun him around.
Yeah.
If he just span and he hadn't left the ground.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You happy with that, James?
Yeah, I'm netcode. I think it is. As much as Andy was had lost control, the actual spinning the car around on the spot was netcode.
Or physics model, whatever you want to call it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree, James?
I am partially in agreement. Yeah.
I'd say I definitely
I,
don't.
the only bit that I'm dubious about is the a sort of foresight to see exactly how the incident would have played out. I know what you're saying, that the cars are, but I don't know.
Annoyingly, though,
These cars are pretty fragile at the moment, and the way they turn under impact. We had one earlier on, you know.
Yeah.
I'm half of me thinks that he's out of control. He's hit another car. It's a bit of a lottery what happens, and in this case, you know, it's spun him. Probably, possibly because of the net code. I mean, it doesn't matter what I think at the moment, and I can swallow it because 3 of you have already made the decision, so that's fine. It's very difficult to predict how a car's going to react with that kind of knock, but it's netcode, so that kind of negates whatever I think in a way.
Yeah, the way I see it is what we've been saying these last 3 weeks already is basically no matter what the crash is going to be, if there's a netcode influence, we've kind of just ruled it on that, haven't we? Even though we can all say for sure they would have made contact, netcode's had its effect, and therefore it's now a altered result. So
okay,
we'll call that netcode and move on. Next one is timestamp 306, Jordan Syrup Meatball. $256 realistically. The meatball though. That's the meatball. Oh no.
It's a hit and run. Well. Who is that?
That's Adam Shepherd.
I'm surprised this corner hasn't brought up more incidents, to be honest. There's a lot of too wides.
You wait. The next one's a big one that I'm involved in.
Oh, yeah?
3 wide into a Ascari.
Oh.
Just go back and watch it one last time just to check Syrup's breaking point, make sure it's not too early.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, it doesn't make a big effect anyway because there's a car behind you have to anticipate.
He's got everything going on.
Adam is.
It's a canny move. It's like the other week. He's clever guy. He's trying to exploit.
Yeah, he's got 6th sense when it comes to a gap, hasn't he? But I think unfortunately this time Syrup is not braked absurdly early. Just after that gantry is acceptable as a braking point, especially lap 1, whatever it is. Yeah, lap 1. You can see Kip there on the left is already on the brakes as well. So.
But where is Adam on the brakes? I know he'll be probably doing his on-off braking to kind of
modulation.
Difficult to tell what pressure he's probably applying, but where did he apply them? You see, it looks good, doesn't it? It looks good. It looks good, but I'm not convinced the pressure's there.
He's just putting his toe on the pedal just to get the lights to turn on.
Yeah, modulating it, I think. Because
you can see he is quicker than even Rose there on his left. He's outpacing on the brakes, and he's probably dipped a wheel here on the grass, which isn't going to help in slowing the car down at all.
Yes, you're right, Dan. That's going to stuff it all up for him. That's what it's done it for him. He's tried to compensate and miss him, but
I think that's on Shepherd. I think that's on Shepherd.
After 4 weeks.
So it's a DSQ.
And 6LB. After 4 weeks, we finally managed to pin something on Adam that's stuck.
You be careful what you say in these steward meetings. Yeah, at this point, he's realised he's in no man's land. He's all over that curb where you wouldn't normally be.
If I was Adam, what's the car in front?
Jordan's
Can we see Syrup's brakes? Sorry, just so he's spinning. Just because he does roll onto the track. Oh, there I am.
I'll learn how to go forward and backwards on these replays at some point.
Just after the contact, has he tried to stop the roll? Because he rolls back on a little bit. So which is when Adam has a sort of indecision about whether to go left or right, I think.
Contact.
So that's
Off
obviously
them.
happened.
Yeah, he's on opposite lock.
He's off them.
Off
Still
the
off the brakes. Still off the brakes. He's on.
Oh, okay, no, he does. So he does try and stop the slide once he's.
I don't think he's done anything too wrong there with his attempt to catch the
I
slide.
think Adam's thinking, could you just not shift a little bit over to the left? Because I've got a sweet move going on here
I
around
know.
the house.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so easily done there because you are kind of caught out with braking points there, especially if you're in that kind of pack.
Yeah.
Not that I had to experience it starting there from the pit lane in 3 races, but
The next one down.
yeah.
Next one is Shane Piggott, meatball timestamp 4 minutes 30.
Shane Piggott had a really rough week, I think.
Yeah. Pardon? So what time
Has
was
he got
it?
damage? He's already got
Yeah.
damage. He just given up.
20.
20.
4
When
minutes
was the
20 will be-
timestamp?
Timestamp's 4:30, so the meet will be at 4:20.
Blown an engine.
Which would be a result of that first lap incident. He's just blown the engine. Or he could have.
Changing down a gear.
There it
Oh,
goes.
I
Yeah,
think I think he done it on the run down.
You said
he-
it's.
yeah, he's-
He's just in second too early.
Yeah.
I did this in practice, actually, trying to.
Oh, find the.
Oh
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
Better do it.
It's just buzzed it in the air. Alright. That's an easy
Is
selfie on that
is
one.
it easier to do it with paddles, just getting overly eager? Because obviously you've got to negotiate the shift. Do you know what I mean? You can't do it that
I
quickly
don't
in
do
a
it.
shifter.
I'm lazy. I'm on auto blip at the moment until I get a shifter.
Yeah, it's quite easy to
Paddles,
do.
I
with
did
the-
it in. Yeah, I did it in practice doing this.
I
Just
can imagine
like-
just using it a bit too quickly for engine braking purposes. You know.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's
Bad
right.
luck, Shane. R.I.P.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Next up is the one I'm on about. Carl Jacquelet protesting Martin Johnson at Ascari on lap 2.
So Martin Johnson lap 2.
Yeah, Ascari.
Are we,
This is the. I can't comment
Quarter-
on this one because it's the
are
free
we a
wide that I
quarter
didn't
through
want to be
down?
involved in.
Half through? Quarter
Oh,
through? A third?
What, for the entire night?
Yeah. No, for this
just-
race.
Oh, this race. Yeah, this one here will be just over halfway, maybe 2/3.
Okay.
So, yeah, no comment from me because that's me with the rear green bumper.
Okay, pause. Oh dear.
That's what I was.
Yeah, he's out. He's just a passenger beyond
Yeah.
that crash, isn't he? So what happens? He's that close to the line.
First impression, he's come to the right and hit down.
Hmm. Is it under braking again? Yeah. Oh
It's just
dear.
before braking, really. I think he's come across maybe to take the turn better.
Hmm. Okay. I'm in agreement with Nick.
Yeah.
Michael, are you?
Yeah. I'm in agreement.
Okay. So what's he done and what's the penalty?
Let me just check the meatballs.
I'm right on purpose.
I want to say Carl Jacquelet a meatball.
Oh, Jacquelet did meatball out of this one, yeah, so if you're finding him at fault here, then he's going to be hit with a 6LP.
Okay. And a DSQ?
And a DQ, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Vanessa up. Next
Just
one
wants
to look at is lap 4, followed by our very own Nick here on Seth Hawkins.
Just say this is the right at the end of lap 4, literally just before the line it starts. I wasn't sure which lap. Oh god, I've done the wrong lap, I think. Maybe it's the start of lap 4, then maybe I got it the wrong way around. Nope. Right, well this peel is shit then because I've done the wrong laps. Oh dear.
You tried.
And so,
tried my
and
best.
so it should have been 5, you're saying. Yeah.
It should have been the end of lap 5, not the end of lap 4, yeah, so I've just, yeah, you gotta ignore it.
That's
'cause I
right.
just did
That's
the
right.
wrong lap.
I'll just rewind it to double check it was.
When was it?
Looking at lap 5 might be a bit excessive.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So no, it was at the
Yeah.
end of lap 4. It was.
End of lap 4, start lap 5. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll give you that one.
It's at... Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
So what it was is him just overtaking under the line is what I've appealed. And then that... I've not appealed that. I don't know.
Hi, Kip.
Me on that.
There's unmuted. What you have said is Seb Hawkins forces Andy McEwen across white line, then overtakes. Then Andy then overtakes B off track. What, you're a pirate? You be off the track, he is.
So if you go back further as well, right, so appeal starts there, and I'll show it.
I think it's safe to say there's an overlap there.
That's what I was double checking before we went too far.
So in that case, we can forgive Andy for going off the track because he's crowded out.
But at this point, should he have backed out to rejoin safely?
Let's keep seeing how it goes because obviously they're now approaching Nick.
There you go.
In a way, Nick didn't need to move over to the left like he did there. He could have held Andy out on the outside and caused him to back out of it. I think he's been kind to Andy by letting him come back onto the track there.
It's a bit of a... Because Andy is off track. It is going on what the announcement said. He shouldn't have gone for the overtake on Nick, most probably.
He is driving off the track, but then at the same time it's suicide to his race if he gets out of it altogether after being pushed off like that, you know?
Yep. Yeah, but now at this point...
At that point, he has the chance to move back in behind Nick, which is what would have been the smart one, but then Nick's moved over, allowing... So,
full wide here though was always kind of...
I was going to say, I just realised you guys are 4 wide. I mean, I don't know what you were expecting the outcome to be from a 4 wide into turn 1.
A crash.
Who's this on the outside? That's
Mr. Kip Stevens.
Oh, now I understand why he's back.
I was about to say, this is why he's back.
It's just coincidental.
It is. I just finished a radical race.
Yeah.
Got disqualified.
That's unlikely.
Instant points.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the outcomes from this? By the looks of things, no meatballs.
No meatballs, no. Everyone's fine.
Well,
I'm leaning towards an RI.
4 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, purely, and it's 4 wide into turn 1, but then we also need to consider Andy off on the right here, almost as a separate incident, because had he done the overtake off, or had he got the overtake off track?
Can you back it up, please, and stop it there, and just go slow-mo forward.
Kip's got a mega run at this point.
I just wanted to see a crash.
Okay, and then stop it there. Can you jump on Nick's on board?
And slow-mo?
Please.
I don't...
Did his front right fix itself because it was off in the, or the left was off?
Yeah, everyone continues looking at the
Nick didn't
results.
move from this point really because he's middle of his steering wheel.
Yeah,
and
that's a nice little guide. Orange with the white line.
It's kind of slight moving, but it's not. It is the wheel still within.
I would say that the crash with 4 cars trying to go into the braking zone in turn 1 is an outright. It's on all 4 drivers who are deciding it's a good idea to try and do that. I think the next thing is just to look at whether Andy McEwen has unfairly gained advantage by going off track.
What penalty have we got for going off the track is now the next question.
Hey, have a look at...
Nothing happened with him though, did it?
He actually got through that fine, yeah.
Oh, I haven't finished watching.
All night.
Please.
What do you want it on Seb?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was.
It's all right. No, for me, I feel like, you know, to try and pin blame, if I had to, on the 4 wide, which is what it is because it's quite crazy, and we'd need an aerial shot for it. But let's watch Kit nonetheless out on the grass, off track, taking advantage of this scenario.
Specsavers.
Trying.
That's on the track. Show the wheels.
I'm pulling his leg. It's just because he's got one. He's got one tire on the grass, expecting his brakes to work properly. That's all.
You can tell the suspension works, that's for sure.
He gives Nick a wave.
Gives him a tap as well.
Or did you see
Yeah,
that kind of Planet X on the side? It is his Kit thought it was a target.
Is that Nick's
Bonk.
teammate?
Oh, there's Nick.
Nick, is that your teammate?
That's me.
No.
Oh, all right. Well, your teammate hit me up the arse when I got back on track.
Oh yeah, Craig. Yeah, he got a meatball from that, I think. Or he got, no, actually, he got damage. I think that just slowed him down for the rest of the race.
Yeah, because I just miss it as well.
Well, look at all these Planet
Here
X
he comes,
guys just
there's Craig.
looking around.
Give him a little tap.
Cool.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was really
meatball.
slow for the rest of the race. He wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
It needs to be, yeah, this angle, not on Kip, on.
Not Nick, because we know he doesn't really move too much.
Well, this is what I'm debating. Nick, you can't say anything.
No, I wasn't going to say anything about the incident. Just that my appeal, is just for the off-track bit.
For the giggles, I thought.
I'm not trying to blame anyone for this.
It is before the only thing I'm looking at now. It is like
Alright.
it is. I think the instance on our RI, but at this point, Andy's overtake is halfway done.
Yeah, you can comment on that. Do you feel as if Andy McEwen gained an unfair advantage by taking the inside, i.e. off the track, through the pit start straight? If that's the case, I think all we can really give him is the minimum infraction penalty, which is 2 LP, because he's done nothing. It's just that's all we can give him.
I don't see why you want to do that. He's got forced off and he's come back on. He ain't caused the crash.
You see, as soon as the track to his left is cleared, he does come back on. And he's not involved in the crash.
Anything.
I think if he'd made a clear run and swung around to the inside to get ahead and pull back in front, then it would be open and shut case, gain an advantage. But in this incident, it's almost as if he's been forced off and he's lost his toe, and he's just got no choice but to hang on the outside or the inside. That's my point of view, anyway.
Yeah, that's definitely leaning towards he was pushed out there, or authorities he was pushed out there. But it's whether it is he should have stayed for the inside or not.
Is this race 3?
It's race 3, yeah.
And it is the
Vote.
The Kip said a race incident. Michael, did you say racing incident?
I'm on racing incident for the contact, which results in the.
Dan said.
Yeah, I'd happily take an RI.
Okay.
Nick goes left as about 6 inches, but that doesn't matter, does it?
No.
That is the
I'm not
thing.
trying to blame anyone else for that crash. It's me that moved the tiniest bit.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's the last little bit. If it was 2 or 3 feet, fair enough. But when it's that tight,
there I go. Little thing. I'm terrible at driving in a straight line.
yeah.
Next one then is
So we do it as our.
Look
It's
as
the
far
meatball.
ahead. Look as far ahead as you can. Don't look at the cars because you just sucked into them.
That's exactly what I do. Like I can't do anything but look at Seb right there when I was doing it. I was just-
Because when you see them coming at you, you naturally turn into them because otherwise you're going to crash.
So what is the next incident? Is it this meatball?
Yes, next one is Sidon's meatball actually. Got nothing to do with Craig. No
No,
meatball,
Craig,
no
he didn't
nothing.
get a meatball. He just got damaged slowed him
Oh.
down.
Oh, okay.
So we got Sidon's meatball at what will be 8:38 on your screen, showing 8:48 on the results page.
Has there been any funny ones I can go back and watch?
Yeah, you can watch the one with you three, Shane Piggott, Aaron
Oh,
Rose,
I
and
like-
yourself that we spent about 20 minutes on.
What race was that? One
Two.
before?
That was on you, mate. On you.
Cool.
Yeah,
So race
no,
2.
that's a
Yeah.
selfie, isn't it? Yeah.
What
It was-
what?
Where's the link?
You don't want to watch it, Kip. It'll only sort of bring it back.
Yeah.
What's happened there is she's buzzed second.
Senna.
What's without a doubt there is a selfie because there's no car within half a
Yeah,
track of her.
but it is.
Mm.
If you look,
Oh, yeah. A couple of
Lucky
clicks.
not to get
Couple of
a
clicks.
engine gone like Shane, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think
All right.
I think that is what's happened.
Yeah.
Next
But
up
we need
is
you here,
Simon.
Kip. We need you here. We don't want you in Back to the Future.
Yeah, there, yeah, see there, yeah, see there you
Oh,
go.
she did lose her engine.
Yeah,
That-
so the
that's,
next one.
that's a replica
Next.
of Senna's engine blow.
Next one is Simon Robson on Seb Hawkins, lap 7 Parabolica.
Lap 7.
I'll do Tesco's Express on these.
Parabolica's the
Yeah,
final
again,
one,
but I'm pretty sure I remember this one.
We get back from whatever he's doing, and we have to ask him to
Big car's
fix
going to
his,
break you back and
fix
wipe
his
them
sheet.
out. Ooh.
So wait, who did the protest? It was
Hawkins.
Smith on Hawkins, yeah. No, it wasn't. It was Robson on Hawkins who filed the protest.
I can't say anything here because people might be listening, but Hawkins loves the door bang. Can't believe you said that, James.
That's your first door bang there, Rose on
Yeah.
Robson, which is RI. They both continue, no
Yeah.
problem. And then was that a tap on the rear from Hawkins, which just caused him to run wide? Is it a push to pass? Is that what it is?
We streaming at Atlanta's again.
Yeah, pushed past
Yep.
it.
We were looking for you to drive, but you weren't around earlier.
At the same time, though, I don't know if that's.
I was.
Would you call that an RI based on the fact that Robson's just had a door bang from Rose? You could have slowed him up a bit. If you just check his speedo.
I can't tell. Need Aquaman to see it.
Saw you hanging out in the lobby for a while, so
Eh?
I saw your mate was in here yesterday as well.
Who's that?
Oh, you know, you and your mate.
Oh,
You both sat in the lobby
that
together.
wouldn't be anyone then, would it? Really, you just Kip on his own again.
Yeah.
Myself.
If you look at that, when he makes contact with Rose, I think there's a fair to say there's about a 5 to 10 kilometre an hour drop off in speed, which might have, which
but then in
could catch
reality,
Hawkins
where
out.
was Hawkins gonna go at this point?
Hawkins is closing in on him pretty quick
Yeah.
before that, so he's still closing.
I think
closing.
Hawkins has got a really good toe, and now he tries to sort of go down the inside, but misjudges.
Did anyone lose any play? I mean,
It's basically just the fact of it's looking at whether Hawkins did a push to pass on Robson there.
Just a
No.
2 post on.
It's just a one place loss.
Oh no!
Basically.
Fuck.
oh look who it is again. He's everywhere.
Oh fucking hell!
Up on the grass.
Well, in fairness, he's got danger written on the back of his car. It's not like he's not warning people.
I'm changing my paint.
Even Ben doesn't run that paint anymore.
Oh, we got our first appeal already.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, Shane's happy about his one, basically.
Oh, okay. I think I'm leaning towards this one. Unfortunately, it is Seb has.
Yeah, Yeah, now looking at it and looking at the closing speed, regardless of the contact there, I think it is a open and shut push to pass, which is 1 place loss, so 2 LP. You all happy with that?
I agree with it.
Just want to double check how. Because I think did he lose out the Kip as well? Just because of that.
Oh no, it's going to be my fault.
No. No, that's fine. It is. Yeah, so that's a 2 LP one, isn't it?
Hang on.
You're
Hang
really.
on. No, I was just there's too many people in the room now. It was easier earlier on, but
It's only game Kip.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just laughing. I don't care.
What did Nick say?
Push to pass. 2LP.
Okay.
Not push to pass. Tapping, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, just
I want to see what happens on the straight.
Do you want to use any more views on Kip?
No.
Down the straight. I want to see what happens.
He does just lose the wall in position, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just
Kip doesn't actually get past. Kip wasn't trying hard enough.
Wind it. Just wind it. The marathon.
Kip off track.
Ooh, Kip's off track, so and has Kip
Wind it.
overtaken
Wind it.
off track?
Yeah.
Wind it to the end. Time stood still.
Oh, giving him a nudge.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's the end of the race. That's why. Okay.
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
Anyway, that is it for race 3.
Nice.
Fire up race 2, 3, 4.
4. That's how the numbers go normally. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Where have you posted it?
we've lost some, which is annoying. He's gonna come back.
Oh.
Yeah. Big.
So, first one.
Okay. So,
If we're all back raised.
Next, first one of this one is lap 1, turn 1, Sarah Hawkins against Andy McKeown.
Bun just on the second half of the chicane.
Keely. Yeah, on the outs.
Like a selfie there.
That is going to need some looking at. Okay. First things first, did Andy make a small tap on Seb to cause the spin?
That's, yeah, because he maybe unsettles him just before the spin. If anything, the only contact's going to be there.
And at this point, the actual on power is a selfie.
If the spin, can we watch it from his onboard, from Seb's onboard? That is.
Yeah.
Do something like that.
See what his inputs are looking like. See if he gets jolted and see if it's out of balance when he tries to turn left. Small little tap.
I'm assuming this is also a meatball, is it? Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And then watch it nice and slow. You'll see a slight tap from Andy.
There, somewhere down, I think.
There.
There we go. Yeah.
So now he's swung it left during the tap. But
now
then he's cranked on a mother of all lot while he's accelerating.
Done that by himself.
And at this point, oh fuck!
And then that second impact you can't really pin on him because it's a car spinning in a pack. So it's just whether the spin was caused by Andy or by driver. Oh, welcome back, James. We would value another opinion on this.
I'm just looking now at the black lines in the road. There. He definitely spun up his rears, but the contact is very light, but it's in the transition
the weight transfer of the turning. Yeah.
It's like this. I blame Kip again. Yeah, a selfie for me.
Yeah, I can see that the car is unsettled and on cold tyres it can take a while to get it back, but I can't blame the spin on Andy, really, personally. When the contact's so early,
well, that I'd say is racing. It's a kind of bunch at turn 1. You quite often breeze doors or breeze bumpers, don't you? But
yeah.
So
there is daylight
the clearest,
next road bump again.
The clearest thing I can see is Seb's now on the brakes, but then he starts turning in off brakes and back on throttle.
Yeah,
so he's had his opportunity to settle the car, in my opinion.
I think he's tried to race the black car on the outside. I think he's caught the jostle and then realised he's going to lose places because of it, maybe.
We have volume, is he on the throttle?
I don't think my volume
Watch his onboard. If you watch his onboard, you'll see his speeder does go up.
Okay.
Check 46, and then accelerating 57.
Just that little blip if he's after the contact, if he's gone for the corner, as if the blip hasn't happened.
This just to make it easy to read.
Yeah, with the sound, he loses it on his own. It's definitely under acceleration.
I think we just want to stay in the car in slow-mo. Sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, just so we can read the speed clearer. It's a slow one, not because it's so slow.
I'll say I was going to worry about that for a while.
Alright, now we're in slow-mo. So he's decelerating, gone down below 100, 80, 70, 60, now in the 50s. He's at 50 now, 48, 47, 6, 45, 4, 3.
Bump.
Yeah, bump at 42. Now he's gone back up to 48, 50, 51. But then now he's going back down again. He's now at 46.
Yeah,
So
because you have
that's
to slow it up.
braking to control it. And now he's suddenly
No,
51, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think he's hammered the throttle one. Up to 57 by the
And
time
it is,
it's
he's
spinning.
got, and he's still got a load, a lock on when it is he's hammered the throttle anyway. And that.
So what was Nick's outcome?
Nick.
Mine?
Which one?
Nick's.
As in my
involved.
opinion on this? Or...
Oh.
Yeah. What was Nick's opinion?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I don't. I think it's a selfie personally. I don't think any.
Dan?
Yeah, well, I think the bump may well have rattled him. I don't think the bump caused him to spin.
No, me neither. I think it's a selfie too.
Cool.
Yeah. The next one to look at is Roger Morton, timestamp 109. So is that on the grid?
That will be.
There
There.
he is.
What was it? You said 109.
Yeah, so 59.
Oh.
In Wednesday.
Unfortunately, myself.
Go back and watch it again through because I was typing it up.
Is that enough to give him meatball then?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
Meatball. Yeah, Meatball.
A lightning start.
That's a great.
It's a
Yeah.
great start.
It's unfortunate, but there's no rule about having bad starts, is there? Yeah.
No, as long as he's moved forward, you know, he's not stayed still. He can't really. Yeah.
Okay, we'll just have to say that ran into the back of the other car, kind
That's
of on
not
Roger.
Too good for his own good.
Mm-hmm.
One minute 35, Hawkins and Clibbins both have a meatball at the exact same time. Can you just make sure that's nothing late?
When's that? Hawkins.
1:35. I presume it's to do with the spin.
Yeah, so I think we've seen Hawkins one because he gets just the second tap.
Just to make sure that Clibbins is to do with that.
Oh, yep, there he is.
Or Adam taking the same route he did last time. Paid off this time.
He must have had flashbacks then.
Well, that's so unfortunate to get a meatball out of that.
Some really weird physics going on there.
Like there. How did he get
Yeah.
away with that bit? And then when it
Whoever that is, one of Nick's team, somehow
Oh, yeah,
inside of his
Nick.
car.
It is
It
me.
was you.
Did
Yep.
Nick?
So you're
I don't
somehow
remember
inside of this
that.
car, and yet at
Not
the same
remember
time
that.
he
You
skims the
remember
other car.
everything, Nick.
I remember everything, but I don't remember doing that to him. Jeez.
How do you get away with that though? And then it is that contact off the start line. Like, nope.
It's really weird.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think
Yeah.
there was a lot what Nick could have done, and Sev has held his brakes.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that actually. I don't remember being inside him, but I remember him getting slow after hitting his teammate.
Oh, actually, sorry. You have to be quiet now, Nick, because Nick Living did protest you here for that contact. He said you drove into the back of his car, caused damage, and he struggled to turn the car left in avoidance of Hawkins.
Fair enough, I'll shut up.
All of a sudden, he now remembers it.
He's gone from having a joke to being on the chopping board here. Yeah.
In fairness to
Not funny.
Roger,
It's not funny now anymore, is it?
After this point of view, can we see the onboard from Clivens to make sure there was a reaction in the steering from a contact? The outside point of view of Clibben's car, it does look like he gets pretty well jostled about by the contacts. You just watch his onboard to see what his steering wheel's doing. No, you're going the right way. Wrong way.
I thought I was.
Yeah. One, two, three. For good luck. Yep. Such a small kiss on Hawkins, man.
I'm inclined to say racing incident with a bunch in at turn 1. Because the actual...
I would probably agree if it were on the exit of the chicane and we were talking about bunching due to people reacting to a spun car. But on the entry into the chicane, it's kind of not great.
Yeah, no.
Nick.
Yeah.
It looks fairly aggressive from that camera. I mean, it may not have looked so much, but it looks like you're literally inside of him.
Oh.
Can we just go back slowly? What does the other Simtech car bump him into, Nick, as well?
Bumps, he definitely Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's hard to say. No.
I think a Simtech car gets a bump.
But if you look at the compression on his shock, it looks like it was a rear left knock where.
I'm saying Nick got his teammates to gang up on the Simtech cars, because if you look here, it's almost simultaneously, both at the same time. Dunk dunk.
Oh.
Bloody hell.
Obviously, you two teams aren't good friends.
Sorry, we go back to the incident.
So that first bump is almost excusable, but the second one is almost the nasty looking one where it looks like Nick's inside of him. But that one there is like, okay, turn one, it got a bit tight.
Yeah.
You can see the car reacts with like a rear left compression, almost as if the shock was being pushed down. And again, here it's been hit again. And a third time, fourth time, and so on.
And
there's another compression. This damage model is.
This is damage model. The only thing what I'm kind of leaning towards now is the brake lights. Could Nick have done more to get out of it? I know, because I think he's been caught out with bunching, or he had done. And then at this point, so
the contact had already happened.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they've had one, and now this is the second contact.
This is now secondary, isn't it? This is now.
Yeah.
It is. kind of made a closing gap where he had done. But I don't think you can blame the contact from Nick for the meatball.
That's the hard bit to call.
Because
So
is there a
at a
timestamp on the
minimum
meatball?
here, yeah,
Assuming 125-ish.
yeah, 135, so 125, yeah.
Yeah.
At a minimum, Nick is looking here at a 2LP for just causing unnecessary contact with that second one. The first one's just a little bump, whatever. It's whether that small contact, the 2LP on the second one, has caused the DNF, in which case it's upgraded. But that's what I'm looking at here. Is like that's
one.
whatever. That's questionable as whether it's hit this team or not. That second one there, that's definitely a 2LP contact. He's inside of him.
But then, does he cause the? Because if not, it's got to be a DSQ and 6LP. But when did Nick see the spun car?
He's almost unsighted.
Yeah, it's like you can't judge it, can you really? It's because he didn't brake for it or like make a reaction for it. But then he hasn't really got time.
And I get what he's saying here, where
Yeah.
it doesn't help that other Nick has kind of got in there and pushed him, because he's definitely pushed him slightly wider than he perhaps would have been. It looks as if he only just regains control of the rear of the car, maybe 1 or 2 meters before he makes contact with Hawkins.
What's everyone's views, or do they want
his rear's jumping here, you can see.
Yeah.
It's up in the air right now. And there, you see.
What's everyone leaning towards, or want a different camera view, or?
I've got to think about this.
That's what I'm. Because the options we've got is a 6LP or a 2 license point, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's definitely caused unnecessary contact. So it's minimum 2LP at this point for that second element of the chicane contact. It's whether the contact has caused the DNF with the resulting contact on Hawkins. What we need to judge, really. I'm leaning towards a contact with Seb is unlucky, and a 2LP for the actual contact, because other cars like it is Adam's brake there to avoid it. And he does actually speed up into the incident. I know it's not, but what's everyone's fault? Where are you leaning, James?
I unfortunately am leaning towards that. So it was 2LP for sure.
Yeah.
And then the aftermath, was that a consequence of what had come the corner before? And let me take one last look at it. So I was looking at something else for a second, but I'd already made my decision on this bit, at least, that was on Nick. Yeah. So What would he do? What would he do? Has he been that unsettled by it all?
You can see he does sort of catch the rear end only a meter or two before the contact. If you watch it from Nick Clibben's rear chase, and just watch the back of his car jump in the air after the corner and then sort of grip into the concrete again.
Yeah.
So it's compressed, jumping, grip, and now, yeah.
Yes. In that case, then it's all on Nick, unfortunately.
You happy with that agreement there, Michael?
Yeah, I'm happy there was definite contact which started it, and the fact it's ended up in a meatball. I mean,
It's
unfortunate.
such a light meatball, and I feel bad for both Hawkins and Clibbens that's caused the meatball, but
I think, to be honest, Nick could have caused the meatball there himself. It didn't, but he could have done with that kind of contact on the rear wheel. Not that that matters.
Right, so that's that.
I do agree with what you say, but I agree with that penalty. I didn't realise I was inside him when I was driving, but it looks pretty bad on my part.
It's just funny. It's normally the other way around. People don't normally realise when I'm inside them. Sorry, bad joke. So
Yeah,
guilty driver is.
I admit it must be getting late.
Yeah, it's half 10.
Yeah.
That's late enough.
Right.
Right. So we got a few. Hang on. What's this about?
I have another protester against me in this race.
Oh dear.
Oh, he does from Shane.
Shane.
Are you trying to beat my points from last week?
We've got one here from James Neve and Adam Shepherd on each other. They've one protest and the other one's protested the other for lap 1, turn 6. However, I feel as if this might be they've got the wrong race and they perhaps meant race 3, lap 1, turn 6, which would be Ascari, wouldn't it?
That would be quite impressive if they both got it wrong.
Or did the here this 6?
Let me just get a Monza track map.
It's got to be, isn't it? Because you got 1, 2.
Turn 6 is.
Yeah, this would be 6.
Turn 6 is generally seen as Lesmos.
Yeah, and this is Lesmos, isn't it?
What has Adam Shepherd said on his thing? Has he given a?
Yeah. Oh no. So yeah. Sorry. So this is a separate incident altogether. Then they've run into each other. Oh, so it was Cyril last time, wasn't it? Not Neve. Sorry. Okay. So turn 6. Adam Shepherd has stated he broke early to avoid contact on entry. James Neve lost the rear heavily mid-corner by going in too fast on cold tyres. If you look at his cockpit, his steering wheel is all the way around and upside down, the opposite look basically. Mid-corner, he was so sideways and out of shape he had nowhere to go until it was too late. Once he realised he was slowing up so hard he broke and swerved, but it was too late.
So let's go on board with Adam. Then we go on board with the other car afterwards, yeah?
Well, should we check Neve first to see if he's actually out of control on his own doing?
Yeah.
Because if he was, then it's simply put that Adam had nowhere to go because the car directly in front of him was just spinning around.
He slid and he lost it. Oh, he almost had it back, but he did lose it.
And just again, slowly, so we can check his speedo, make sure he's definitely, shearing speed off there. So at 120. Yeah, he's lost control. Yeah, he's out of control now. Speed's dropping off. He's lost 10 Ks and
contact's there.
So he's lost 10 Ks on what would be the acceleration point of the corner, realistically.
Pretty hard to avoid it in the corner like that.
Yeah,
see what's done. He's got all over the curving, turned in too early, and then unsettled the rear.
I think unfortunately we're going to the same result as what you had at Brands Hatch at Sheen when you spun and had the same contact on the rear of yours, which you were already spun.
What's that?
Was it you at Brand's GP?
No, I only had one incident and it was my fault.
Sheen? No, it is you did a selfie, didn't you, at Brand's?
Yeah.
And it was you were spun in front
Oh,
of someone.
you're on about Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie
Jamie
was
was it? Yeah,
spun
that's
with
what,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
That's it then, yeah.
Yeah, so once you pass that little concrete access road on the right, that's basically your apex curve. You should be on the throttle.
Oh, you're flat
From
there.
that point onwards, you should be back on the power at that concrete.
Unless Adam throws himself on the gravel, he's not avoiding that.
No. And it's such a shallow slide, it wouldn't look like anything menacing at first for Adam
Can
either.
you can you go back slowly? What point do you think car in front's lost it?
Well, I think you have to go in the cockpit to see that.
No, you kind of.
As in, like, because Adam won't be able to.
From his viewpoint, what point does he think he's
I mean,
lost it?
Adam has
I think there it is.
not tried very hard to avoid it.
Can we just let's wind back to the start of the corner and watch for a super slow mo. And first person to call out, he's lost it, wins. I don't know. Nah, he's lost it there.
Beat me to it.
I mean, he set him up to sort of come underneath him, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah.
At that point, to me, the car in front has turned in too early, and you can see he's almost inclined to hit the inside wall.
He has turned in too early, that is for sure.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't say he's out of control just yet, though.
When it's
Now he's back on the track. He's starting to lose control now.
Now, you can just see the locks just starting to come on to go. And there he does.
What does?
But
Okay.
I don't think there's any reaction time to do anything there.
No.
In full time. Like,
Yeah, no.
He does have a massive twitch on the old left lock to try and avoid it, in fairness.
Okay. So, what was the? We're saying it's a selfie.
Not a selfie, but an RI for the knee being out of control.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Shepard unable to react in time, simply put. The next one you can look up is Shane on Nick, lap 2, second chicane. I'll just tap this one up.
So, just resetting the chase camera. Oh, wrong Nick. I've seen this.
No.
That was
they feel on me.
No, because he doesn't hit anyone flipping
Oh,
stuff.
of course he doesn't know. That's right. Sorry.
Incident's already happened there, though. You have to go back and start. I think it's just a little bit of a bump, but he pushed him into another car, and we'll see what happens.
Somewhat spooked by those cars coming through.
I was about to say, no wonder it is you, Rugby.
I mean,
So
I don't think anyone's arguing the fact that Piggott had every right to check up there, seeing Clippins flying up the inside like that. Or Stimpson, whichever one it was, sorry.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
He's in front. Okay, so...
And what's this caused for Shane then? He's lost one place now. He's lost the second place to Chapman.
So the green car has...
Yeah, so the green car has bumped into the back.
It's a bit of a push to pass, isn't it, in some respects? Whether it's perhaps not intentional. It's what he's done. He has just pushed him wide on the corner.
And he had lost him 2 places.
Okay, so what's that?
3LP.
Okay.
Simple.
All right, next one up. Champion again on Adam Fox. Lap 3 start finish line. That could be the end of this one, start next one. Who knows?
I think in that last one, again, it's fair result, but me and Shane both had different reactions to seeing Liam in our mirrors. I shit myself and forgot to brake, and he just braked a bit more. Basically, it's a terrible reaction. I don't know why I let off the brakes. I remember doing it in real time and be like, why is my foot not on the brake right now?
Wrong one.
Up and do. Okay.
Panic!
I'm one of these who I will brake and not press it almost all the way. It is, and that comes from driving the Porsche a lot and the fear.
It's right. Can you just show me what position Nick finished in that race as importance?
13th, I think? 12th?
13th. Alright, yep, just need to get penalty points.
And who was the other one on it?
What's this instant? Oh, this one here. I'll watch this.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's unlucky.
That's got to be on Adam for being off track, isn't it?
I was about to say.
Go back and,
That's old.
He does get pushed off track.
this isn't the one. This isn't the one that's been protested.
Is it not?
No, we're supposed to be looking at Shane Piggott on Adam Fox. Start finish line.
Oh, okay, what's that?
Which is, I think, a result of that big crash up ahead, because Piggott and Fox both crash out on the start finish line. Yeah, that.
Okay.
Mark an overtake attempt. The accident ahead isn't really affected.
It's already kind of settled enough that they can happily drive through full
And
throttle
it's,
anyway.
and it's off the track, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a reaction to Chapman, isn't it?
I think so. I think he's
Am
swung
I,
right.
do you want me to be quiet on this one? I don't know if I'm involved in it.
What, because you're that car in the distance?
Well, I caused Chapman. Well, it looks like maybe I caused Chapman to swerve. I don't know. Maybe
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say you're involved in
Chapman
this.
goes there, and then he goes, and
No,
there's chain
because
reaction.
Can we
no
watch
actual contact.
Watch from Fox's cockpit camera, please?
Fox doesn't really move across as such, does he? I don't think. I think it's
I think he
contact.
does.
No, you can see
It
from
looked
the
like he
old
moved
does
to me.
whenever quite.
Yeah, I think he slightly overreacts to Chapman. He
Yeah.
doesn't maybe think he's got a gap when he does. Or you know,
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah, I
does.
suppose. Yeah, no.
Because he doesn't move the wheel much, but it's that jolt right which sends his whole car trajectory off to the right quite a fair whack. He's
Yeah.
like smacking the middle of the track now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now he's
No,
already over on the right hand pit slots. You know.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Fox,
So,
mate.
Adam Fox.
Mm-hmm.
You happy that he's overreacted to the side
Unfortunately, yeah.
to side? Okay. In which case, that's a Shane Piggott meatball, I believe. That's right, yes. So that has to be 6 LP, just what it would be.
It's just a weird chain reaction, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's next?
you can now go back and look at the crash between Shepherd and Robson.
Has it been protested?
No, it's meatballs.
Okay.
From what I've been told by the drivers involved already, as in Robson, Shepherd, and Smith, I believe it was an attempt to push or bump Robson by his teammate Smith, which for some reason kicked him off to the side of the track and just took Shepherd with him. Let's just confirm that. If that's the case, then that would be probably a netcode or iRacing Physics.
There is a touch.
Yeah. On that car 31, and
So the two teammates have created the incident for a car that's off track.
I don't think that's iRacing Physics. I think it's just they've tried to bump and they're not.
I mean, they're dicing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because the guy in front moves to the right slightly, and then that's
again,
at this point, I'm gonna say racing incident, possibly, unless you blame the second Gatton car, but we can't penalise teammates, can you?
Yeah, so that's the way I look at it. Is Shepherd's off the track, so you can't say they've fouled him in that respect. What's happened here is
track,
perhaps I think if you go back, I think he was fairly alongside before the pit wall. He's alongside now, almost fully alongside. If anything, he had the room there, but he started swerving right because he sees Robson sort of slightly turning. Yeah.
Back onto that, how he should have let the accident happen.
Yeah. So.
But in that respect, then, what I would say is Smith has bump drafted Robson badly.
Yeah.
Veered Robson off towards the pit wall. Adam was unfortunate to be off the track in that position to be collected.
Yeah.
We cannot penalise teammates for impeding each other. So.
Okay. No further actions.
Would you agree with that, James?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you say. The only dubious thing here is that Adam been pushed off track?
I think he's moved himself off track in reaction to what looks like Robson moving to the right a bit, perhaps by the push. It's hard to say. At that point,
he's already done that before. Yeah, I mean, he's out the game. And whatever happens to him in the nicest possible way is his own doing because he's out of the game.
Yeah,
and then these teammates have created it.
Okay, so we'll say that. So let's just say. Let's see. So Shepherd and Robson. Robson is turned by his teammate, collects Shepherd. Incident between teammates, no further action.
Awesome. Oh, there can't be many more left.
Oh, not too many. Mostly meatballs. Check Arthur Panzel meatball at 5:54, so 44 probably.
Okay.
What are we looking at here?
I was looking at speed.
There's two questions. First of all, he doesn't slow down, and secondly, the guy in front, does he put his brakes down?
That's what I was looking at.
First things first, is Fox on the brakes, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at Panzel was flapping through that. I can hear the sound in my ear, now I'd hear it on the stream. And next one was, that's what I was going to do next was...
He's not on the brakes at all.
If that's the case and he's done absolutely zero brakes, then I think it's fair to upgrade him to a double meatball, 12 LP then. Still no brakes, he's all the way across the track now.
Yeah,
still no brakes.
He just gives up, I think. I think that's, in my opinion, that's 12 OP. No brakes.
Oh, definitely.
Yep. 12 OP, yep.
So we'll upgrade the original.
Panzel should try to slow down then.
I'll say Panzel could have tried to slow down, but I remember the car didn't have its brakes, so... If he'd held his brakes, he could have easily have stayed on one side or the other.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's the lock trying to save himself as well that's brought him back into Panzer.
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing all of those. Next one then is a protest from James Neve on Glen, lap 4, turn 1.
On Glen, yeah.
James Neve against Glen, turn 1.
Yeah, that's why I realised.
I think I saw this one in the replay after the race. I think it's a pretty clear cut. Failed to slow the car.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's just
Okay.
look at what the repercussions were.
Yep.
I know you like Glenn, James, but fortunately he's in the wrong.
We'll be having words.
Yeah, good. It does cause a double meatball for both cars, in which case Glenn, unfortunately, is going to earn himself a 6 LP.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a slam dunk. Or a slam smash.
Alright, last one of the night then. Sam Smith, meatball, 8 minutes 46.
Who was the other car involved in that? That wasn't another meatball, was it?
Sam J. Smith, meatball at 8 minutes
Yeah.
36 on your screen.
Oh, this car's right.
So the meatball would have happened
Now.
now. Yeah. It's that secondary contact wheel to wheel. That's what meatballs do.
Fair play to him for rolling that off the track though.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty clear-cut question of who's more at fault, Smith or Walters.
I'm inclined to say Smith.
Same. So he moves
Let's have a
there,
look. Yeah.
which is just tiny movement of the
Well.
brakes, but also the fact that he's on the inside of that corner in the first place makes me,
And
as in that tight in the angle, you know.
and it is already going too wide.
Where's the breaking point? The bridge, isn't it?
Just after the bridge, normally with Toe probably at the bridge, so
Maybe
he's
probably.
braking on time. He's braking on time, that's fair. Walters has braked later, but he can take a shallower line, so he can go quicker.
They're both wobbling on the brakes, which is pretty normal, I suppose, when you're braking hard.
That's a neat little contact there.
Yeah.
Try far chase, Mike. It's easier to see his moving. Oh shit! What the fuck?
I've been moving it all fucking race, Kip.
Is that police cam?
Yeah, that's it. Who put bridges in there?
Use those dark lines to see who's moving more, but I think it's Sam.
And also, they've got a turn for the corner.
Yeah.
It's about how long Sam expects him to not turn in to compensate for him being there, isn't it, really?
But then also the car on the right as well.
I mean, I know there's an overlap rule within BSR, but then to an extent, it's just sticking your nose up the inside like that and expecting room. Yeah,
Especially when it was
it's
definitely
a bit,
avoidable.
That chicane's a very difficult corner, full stop. 3 wide. What? Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sam. Is that fault then?
I'm saying Sam with 3LP.
It's me. So,
Can we go to the middle car on board and just see what his steering's like? Is he gunning for the apex, or is he trying his best to kind of compensate?
Imagine he's braked quite late, so probably a little bit squirmy. So he's on the brakes now. First squirm, and the little squirm reacting to the car on his outside.
Never
and
made it
turned.
to the turning point, did he? Well, didn't he?
Not really.
So 2 are on Sam. That was, who was that? That was
Me. Because his wheel again is in line with that black line.
So just go ahead slowly. It's not really moved far off of it. It's the start of a turn there, in fairness.
That's
So that's
it's a
squirm.
correction on that, but it is still
It's
pointing.
another little one.
I think there he's turned in. I think here he started to almost turn in early, but that's just a natural reaction of the rear coming round. I think as you turn it in.
Tricky one.
It is.
You want to do an aerial?
All bird's eye view.
I mean, Sam's facing towards him at that point, isn't he?
Guess they both converged a little bit, haven't they?
It's
So
either.
we look.
Yeah.
It's Dan, Kip, or myself to either say Sam to end
Yeah.
the debate.
Well, the options we've got is it an RI or
It's that little feint up there to the right for me, which is.
I think Robin moves.
So they both move into each other.
He does move, but at what point do you want him not to move for the corners? What I'm thinking.
This is kind of what I'm saying is like we have the overlap rule, I know, and as per the BSR rules, Smith is entitled to room as he has overlap. But is there not just sticking a nose in a freeway situation still going to be a bad idea at times?
I had the same crash with Sam at Watkins, remember? In the
No,
chicane.
I don't. To be honest.
I can't remember the ones at Watkins I've done.
I was on the inside, same as he was there 3 wide. That car ploughed in his teammate, remember?
I do remember because I had a couple of cigarettes for that one. Yeah.
Anyway, I've stayed out of this all night, so you do what you want.
We can force his hand, Dan.
Oh, I see where this is going. It's a hard one.
So because we do have that overlap rule then, could that maybe push it more towards a racing incident? 3 wide into that corner is just never going to end well.
But then
And stick solely
at
to the
that
rules,
point,
like hard.
Walters was the lead car going into this, and now he's in the middle. So
True,
unless
he
he
hasn't had a
straight.
choice.
unless he breaks
He's not
early,
tracked left or right for the whole entire straight.
Yeah,
he's been put into this free wide situation against his own free will, in my opinion.
true.
Which is almost what happened to me earlier on when I was on that 3 wide with Carl
Yeah,
and
it's what happened to me with
Martin.
that 4 wide.
Yeah. And in that situation, in fairness, I braked early to try and dip out of it, but I still got involved in contact.
I should have braked him.
And Robin's gone for the opposite. He's gone for the late brake and just try and get into the corner ahead of the car on his inside.
Which I think is fair enough, seeing as how far ahead of Sam he is.
I think as much as Robin moves, Sam squirms under braking as well.
Yeah.
Well, they're both swerving. They're all over the anchors. It's trying to get their car slowed down in time for a tight corner like that because you're going 3 wide. I'm
inclined to say racing incident, only because of the overlap rule. Now I've thought about it. I sort of looked at it from the air, and I know possibly
both have a squirm at the same time, really, don't they?
it is. I know, like it was avoidable, and it was most probably Sam's contact what gave his own meatball. But they've all got an overlap, so they've all got a right to be there, and they are giving each other room. And that it's only until very late on that.
Well, if you look at Sam's movement of the car, he goes left, he moves a bit to the right.
Yeah.
This is after the bit that I'm thinking,
so
but he's
flipping
moving
the back
right.
line,
He's moving right. He's moving right a little bit.
Is Robin aiming for the apex?
Well, so the green car's miss the apex, isn't it? So, but when
He's
he's giving miles of room. Robin's probably turned in turned in, and then the contacts happened. But at the same point,
I want to see your last corner, Michael, before you shut it. You're getting that back.
it's same as yours, was it, on the race before?
What does Sam want him to do? What would he have preferred him do?
Go really wide, I guess.
So the other thing to consider is, Robin has got to react.
And
to
what's Sam
Colin
going to
on the
do?
outside.
What was Sam's, thinking forward a couple of moves here in chess? What's Sam's next move with two cars either side of him, having to slam on the anchors to get it tight into that corner?
Yeah, he is going to have to properly park it. Like,
Yeah, and then
he's
you're
not-
going
he's
And
not
then
really
he's
in any
going to, and then the
You
other
got-
two are going to be miles off.
and then you got cars behind flying in at fairly normal racing speed. He's just going to lose positions making this attempt of a move.
I think we can all agree it's a bad move, but it's just in the rules. It's not illegal.
All they got to do is leave the cars width either side.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards a racing instant now. If you can, just taking the rules as literal.
Yeah,
Which I think we might have to do, because if we get something else that's like this, similar to this, and then we interpret it a different way.
The way I see it then is Colin on the outside is almost forcing Robin's hand because he's starting to turn into the corner. By that point, Robin has the choice of going straight and T-burning Colin, or starting his turn in as well.
Yeah.
And Sam hasn't started.
Smith is still going straight, but he does have just under a car's width to his left as well. He doesn't need to be as close to Robin as he is.
Well, I think you called it there with 3 RIs, didn't you?
I think.
Considering
at the same time it's just a meatball report, no drivers have felt aggrieved by this. I think it's a fair way to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go alright.
Yeah, alright.
Okay. Dan,
Pass.
Last lap, Mike.
check. Yeah, can you check? Did Kip finish with any points on race 2?
Race 2, Kip. What do you mean,
2 seconds, let me.
actual points? No, DNF.
Can you check it?
What's that on?
Last lap. Come on.
Oh no, I'm on the wrong sheet. Last lap.
Yep. So when you get pinged off the road, you'll know why.
Can you confirm that, Dan, that he absolutely categorically did not finish with any points on race 2, Kip?
Stop rubbing it in. I'm 23rd, a minute and 14 down.
This is race 4. I'm talking about race 2.
Yeah, I know. So am I. Dirty.
It's not. I left you room. Was there or was there not room? Rules say I have to leave you room. There's room there. I've been told about a racing room. I've learned all about it.
What,
I did look. See, there's room there.
What have you got, Dan? I'm having a chat with Dan.
Yeah, that's right.
What have you got? What have I got for what?
Race 2.
What are you after?
Race 2.
Race 2.
You know fully well that Kip DNF
didn't.
due to the contact with Pickett and Rose for a parabolic.
Orville says I didn't.
Shall we have a look, shall we? What are we after?
Put your result sheet on your replay. Or in there.
Yeah, it on. No, one more on license sheet. I wanted. What's the other one? It's scoring sheet, isn't it?
Stop.
Right.
If you go to my replays, Dan, there's that little red box on the right gives you the race results.
No, I want to see if you were scored. Is what you asked, isn't it on there?
Mm.
On the results, and that'll be on the spreadsheet. Meet 4 and which race?
2.
2. Kip scored points in race 2 apparently. 45.
So that reduces.
Well, he didn't get a penalty. I don't know why we're asking this.
So
Shane.
Shane's penalty from 6 to 3 LP.
Oh, okay, that's what you're asking. Okay, but then Shane DNF still says 0 penalty points, just 3 license points then.
Yep.
Okay. Now I understand what you're trying to get at.
Still a teacher on you. Have you got the rules up, Dan?
I do, but I don't have the results up. That's Michael's job.
No, the rules.
Because I love it. I love that. I've got, that's
Yes, I got the rules up.
The only other thing we do need to look at is people who served pit lane starts. We know Adam Fox didn't, but that was because.
However, that's because the admins of the Discord channel, people like Michael Seal, didn't do their job.
I'm not admin on the Discord.
And didn't give him channel permissions, so
I think
Ben already mentioned that one.
I think
that's for Ben to make a decision on for that one because it's Ben's fault why he didn't see. But
Whose fault?
Ben.
Or Kip's fault. Well, what did Kip do?
I don't lock anything. Everything's open to everybody. Then
So,
you don't have that problem.
From what I think Ben said is he's going to give Fox the benefit of the doubt, but last week he just asked him to serve it this next coming week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that's a fair way of doing it. But it is everyone else had the correct permission, I believe. So
Does that rule need rewording on the 6LP?
Why?
Because it's caused a driver to non-score. The meatball is a bit irrelevant. But people are getting confused.
This is what I mentioned to Ben last week. It was that one between Nick's team, what was his name? And the Mountain Scouts, because he caused them to crash, a really terrible region. But because it was only one down, they kind of scored.
Yeah, that's why it's just non-score. The meatball doesn't really mean anything. People get confused. They think, oh, meatball or non-score. It's not.
That's the last time I attended meatball is non-score.
Or they drag it
last or second lap. Yeah.
Because you can do 4 laps.
So would you say a 6LP is more causing drivers to score 0 points for the race?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Then, from that, imagine someone has damage, but they're able to continue, but decide not to continue.
That's when you've got to make your own choice.
Because they go, well, if I just block the race and get damage, I don't think that driver caused me to not score because I don't want to choose.
You got to choose that yourself. Like if they tip on their roof and don't get a meatball, they can't continue. Like Dominic Van Gool at Shell at Alton Park, and he just got off and quit. They didn't get a DQ because he just
Well, if you want to take my slot, then I will
Oh, Splinter.
Well, that's good news, Dan. That is good news.
It's good news for me, not for